Hello everyone, Sumit here. So I'm a PhD research scholar in JNU. In today's video, I'll be talking about the books that you really need to follow for the MA entrance examination for English, mainly for a few central universities like JNU, BHU, FLU, Jamia. So, and there are also some other central universities. If you can follow this book properly, so any university entrance exam can be cracked. So best of luck for that, first of all. And please, I would say, if you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed Exam so you should do that as soon as possible. So let's move on. The first book I'm talking about is about English literary criticism and theory and cultural studies also. So Pramod K. Nair is a very important name here. So this book, sorry, I'm just sweating. So this book is written by Pramod K. Nair, and you can get it anywhere in Amazon, maybe, or you can, I would say you can get a print copy. And so next book is also about English, I would say English literary theory and criticism. It's as a whole literary theory and criticism. So it's a Blackwell publication book. You can see the details here. Let's quickly move on to the third book. This is Indian English Literature by Krishna Sharma, Usha publication or Usha Books publication. You just have to search for in Amazon or anywhere possible, or you can just get a printed copy from anywhere else, even from your library, because these books are very popular and obviously available. Next Indian English literature book that you can also follow as a supplementary study is by Mallikarjun Patil. Right. The name of the book is Studies in English Literature. The publisher's name is given, Sarup and Sons. The fifth book I would talk about is a very popular and very famous book. So this book is about English literary history by William J. Long. So you can see the picture here. This is a basic or primary book. Those who haven't studied English in their graduation, so they can also follow this book for just gripping a very good idea about the basics, I would say the ABC of English literary history. So this is the basic book I would suggest. The next book is just an extension or maybe the advanced version of William J. Long. It's by David Ages. So there are 2 volumes, extensive volumes, more than 1,000 pages. So you need to know how to read that book. You need to have a better guidance, obviously, for that. But this book is also important for the NET preparation. Mind one thing, whoever are preparing for JNU, Jamia, FLU, the prime central universities, so they are actually preparing for the NET examination. So that is very important, right? And the next book is about English literature for NET set. So it is by Vinit Pandey and the publication is Pearson. This is a very basic book suggested for not only the NET examination, but for many other examinations, right? So the next book is about a glossary of literary terms. It's by M.H. Abrams and Harfam is also there. So this book is very important. There are more than 800 literary terms. So obviously you have to like have a check on, I wouldn't say the every literary term. Each and every literary terms, I would say that would be important from the NET perspective, but it's not that important. I mean, all the literary terms are not important from the entrance exam perspective. So you just need to know what are the literary terms you need to follow, and contextually you'll have to prepare for that. So for that thing, you need a basic guidance because you need to ransack the previous year question papers and you need to practice a few sample papers also. Next book I would talk about, that is about translation studies by Susan Bassnett, which is very important from the translation studies theories, and maybe some examples are also there. These are the common and pretty new trends, particularly for the central university examination or entrance examination, because there are many questions from translation studies. So you cannot avoid that portion. Another book, which is the advanced version of this book, is about the post-colonial translation theory and practice by Susan Bassnett and Harish Trivedi. So you must know these are the important proponents. I would say they are the important proponents for the post-colonial transition. So for particularly JNU entrance, you just need to have a check. You need to consider this book also. Next, Glimpses of Ancient Indian Poetics. This book is important only for the JNU entrance by Sudhakar Pandey and V.N. Jha. Next book, the book number 12 I have mentioned. This is also important mainly for JNU, Ariadne's Thread, a guide to international stories in classic literature, because you must know that JNU's approach for the English studies entrance exam would rather cover, or I would say encompass, the primary classics of European literatures or many other literatures. So that's why I have also suggested you guys to read Indian ancient literature, and a book has been suggested also. Next, for American literature, A History of American Literature. It's a popular book by Richard Gray. You can have this book in your library also, but you really need to know how to read this book, because you cannot read every pages or probably every information. Mainly you have to focus on the 19th and 20th century. Next book is about European literature. Again, this book is important from the perspective of JNU mainly. So sometimes Jamia also. It's written by Walter Cohen. This book is very concise. So please read this book if you really need to know the interrelation between English and other European languages and literatures, because you must know, if you just consider the early, I would say the medieval period and even the ancient period in English literature. So there you must see the interrelation between the English and other literatures. So obviously you have to take cognizance of a brief history of European literatures, because questions, I mean, every time the questions come from German or French literature also, but you must know why the questions are coming from German and French literature. What are the relations between maybe German or English literature, or maybe French and English literature? I should share one fact that you all know, that the early, I would say the early English literature was Anglo-Saxon. That would, I would say, encompass, or that would overarchingly conceive two important races. One is like German, another one is the British, and another is like Anglo-Norman. So one important race for, as a contributor, was the French. So that's the reason European literature is very much important to know. Post-colonial literature, here you find many examples. These are directly, I mean, these are very important, and directly the questions are asked from this book. Again, postmodern literature, because you'll get many examples from this book, and obviously there are questions directly asked from the postmodern literature. Those who are not quite familiar with the examples of postmodern literatures, or maybe the postmodern literature, you should obviously read this book. But again, I'm telling you, there are many books. Like I have listed, I think 20 books. So you really need to have a check on the important thing, that what needs to be read and what not. So please, I would suggest you to have a better guidance who can guide you towards the entrance exam preparation, and who can guide you better about the reading. Next is about post-colonial theory by Leela Gandhi. The introduction is very important for this book. There are questions directly asked from the introductions of this book. Even if you are supposed to give the GATE examination, from the GATE examination perspective, I would rather suggest all these books are very important, because in GATE examination, there is also a joint paper for English and comparative literature. So the books I have suggested is very important, right? Even there are a few others, other essays. If you'll be guided by me probably in future, so I'll recommend, I will teach those essays also, and I will also tell you how to read those books, what to read from these books, and probably you can actually give a lot of test. I would say a lot of mock test that will help you a lot. So test series is very important, obviously, from your exam perspective. Next, letters on art and literature, because you really need to know the mutual relation between art and literature from the perspective of both the disciplines, English and comparative literature. And you know, these disciplines are intermittently very concomitant. So you really need to refer to the relation between art and literature because questions are directly asked. Next book is about modernism, a guide to European literature. And another one, the last book I would say, is about literature and world cinema by Dr. Itishi Shanangi. So best of luck, and please try to get all these books as soon as possible and read those books. And obviously best wishes for your entrance examination. थोड़ा जल्दी करना है क्योंकि टाइम बहुत कम है और बहुत सारे किताबें भी है, मतलब अच्छा कट ऑफ क्लियर करने के लिए, अच्छा स्कोर करने के लिए. एंड प्लीज get a good guidance so you can read those books with ease. Thank you, and please like, subscribe and share so that anyone can get I would say you all can be beneficials obviously from this video, particularly from the list of the books. And maybe I hope obviously whoever is like watching this video, all of you guys can crack either exam. Okay, so best of luck. Thank you and tata.